8 out of 10 students have experienced sexual harassment at school. Due to society's normalization of it, people do not think about how frequent occurrences of sexual harassment are. Many instances of sexual harassment are not recognized. This shocking statistic causes me to ask if teachers are doing whatever they can to help prevent this number from being so high. I'm Isabel Skikos, and today I'm going to talk to you about the issues of sexual harassment in schools. As someone who has witnessed and experienced sexual harassment and seen the physical and psychological toll it has on someone, I am well equipped to address this issue. When I was in 8th grade, the police arrested my track coach for sexually harassing and assaulting one of my teammates, who was also a minor. It was very hard for my team to go through this because, similar to my teacher, my coach was someone who we admired and trusted. Other than my school headmaster coming to practice and formally stating that my coach was fired, the school did not really do anything to address the issue. It would have been beneficial to have a class period designed to know how to recognize and handle the situation of sexual harassment. But the school did not think it was necessary to provide the students with the skills to help them cope through it all. Many students suffer from sexual harassment, and especially if the incident happens at school, it should be addressed at school. This is an important topic of discussion because some of you may be familiar with the issue, know people who were sexually harassed, or experienced sexual harassment yourself. In this speech, I argue why teachers need to address the issue of sexual harassment and show how they can address these issues effectively. Each year, a large fraction of students suffer from sexual harassment. According to Sydney Morning Herald 2016, a survey of university students by the Human Rights Commission has found that more than one-half of respondents were sexually harassed on at least one occasion. Sexual harassment is a frequent, pervasive problem in schools of all education levels, from primary school through college. And it is very common and has been so normalized in institutions, according to Wesley Center for Women 2019. Students come to school thinking it's a safe place, and because of this, they do not know if they witnessed or experienced sexual assault. It is a teacher's job to ensure their students are in a safe learning environment. They need to make sure the students are comfortable coming to them when they have questions or problems. When the students are brave enough to speak out, they are often not believed. By knowing how to identify and handle issues of sexual harassment, teachers can instruct their students on how to do the same. Since school is designed to help students not only learn but also grow in life skills, it must be a safe place. Teachers are the ones responsible for instructing the students academically, and they also need to make sure their students are in an environment that is healthy and helpful for learning. First, teachers can help reduce sexual harassment by informing their students on how to identify these issues, whether it's putting together a presentation explaining what counts as sexual harassment and what are ways to identify it, or having a trained professional come in and do the same. Teachers need to make sure their students understand the severity of the issue. To identify sexual harassment, the students need to be familiar with exactly what is considered sexual harassment. Once students understand what sexual harassment is, it'll be easy for them to identify when it happens. If they are aware of what counts as sexual harassment, they will know that it is not tolerated in schools. People listen to authority figures. In the 1963 Milgram shock experiment, Stanley Milgram tested this theory by seeing the extent to which someone would go to follow instructions from an authority figure. Saul McClellan states, people tend to obey orders from other people if they recognize them as authority figures and see if it's morally right and or legally based. This response to legitimate authority is learned in a variety of situations. For example, in the family, school, and workplace. The teachers emphasize that sexual harassment is wrong, and the students listen to what the teachers say because they are authority figures, and the students will accept what the teacher says is sexual harassment. After the students learn what sexual harassment is and how to identify issues of it, teachers should express how they can try to prevent it. Although one does not have control over what someone else says or does, teachers should set an example for what their students by treating everyone equally. This expresses the importance of using kind words and actions and conveys the gravity of treating others with respect and dignity and equality. Once the students know what sexual harassment is and how to identify it's happening, the next step is inviting students how to handle situations of sexual harassment. There are different ways in which a student can handle situations of sexual harassment. If someone is uncomfortable, thinks they're being sexually harassed, and is struggling to defend themselves, then they should immediately notify a teacher. If the teacher's job is to build a reputation with the students of being someone who is trustworthy and safe, they should not be someone who is difficult to talk to or scary. If the students are brave enough to speak out, then their teachers should do their best judgment to handle the situation. Informing a parent and teacher is necessary. Although it can be very difficult for a student to stand up for themselves in issues of sexual harassment, teachers should also remind the students they have the power to say no. Teachers should also emphasize to their students that it is still sexual harassment even if they do not directly oppose it. In conclusion, sexual harassment is a serious issue that teachers must pay close attention to. People are often unaware of the effects of sexual harassment because it is so normalized by society. I explained why sexual harassment is a problem that needs to be addressed by teachers and how they can resolve this issue by helping students identify, handle, and prevent issues of sexual harassment. Thank you.